Hello, and welcome to this module about using evidence to work with stakeholders. In it, we will be looking at why sanitation projects and programs need to be designed using evidence, how household surveys can be undertaken quickly and at low cost, using Transect walks and spatial prioritisation tools, and finally, some advice on how to develop high-impact advocacy. People and communities are complex. Needs, aspirations and willingness to pay change with income, location and over time. Sanitation solutions vary with housing density, water supply, subsoil conditions, road access, wastewater characteristics, topography and other things too. Sanitation must be socially acceptable, responding to the user's aspirations, priorities and their gender. Housing ownership and tenure affect how and where sanitation services can be provided. And some infrastructure and services already exist, though they may not be safe or adequate. Institutional and financial arrangements must be affordable to the users and government, and sustainable over the whole design period. Urban development takes many different forms, and the sanitation solutions needed vary widely as a result. The following photos give a few examples. Addis Ababa has a large stock of new, medium and high-rise accommodation. Maputo and many other cities have extensive areas of unplanned, informal housing with little infrastructure or services. Raipur in India is a sewerless city. It has more than 200 informal settlements, like this one. This informal settlement, on the outskirts of Abidjan in Ivory Coast, shows the challenge of providing improved basic services in dense and unplanned settlements. Note the low-quality public toilets near those trees on the right. Household surveys are a conventional data-gathering method. They can be comprehensive surveys, such as census, or sample surveys of a representative selection of houses. Surveys can ask questions of the residents, make observations, and collect technical data. While surveys can be effective, they can also be expensive, time-consuming, and complex to do well. Analysis of the data can take time, and data errors are common. However, modern digital methods offer efficient and cost-effective options, which avoid many of the problems of manual surveys. For example, the survey forms are developed digitally and the inputs automatically checked. GPS coordinates can be added for georeferencing. Data can be directly tabulated and exported. Data can be collected on Android or iOS platforms and in any language. These can be used online or offline and the data uploaded later. Data analysis can be presented quickly and easily. Students can be enthusiastic, hard-working and inexpensive enumerators, and they are likely to have a mobile phone. However, enumerator training and an experienced survey coordinator are essential. Kobo Toolbox is an example of a free online survey tool that is flexible and quick to use. Transect walks are another well-known method of collecting evidence. They are simpler and quicker than household surveys and can also be used as an effective community engagement tool. A Transect walk is a systematic observation of environmental, sanitation and public health hazards such as human or animal fecal matter, solid waste, drainage channels and water sources, and areas which flood. A Transect walk should be undertaken with a few local residents who know where to go. This also raises people's awareness of sanitation issues. And being in the community can also provide an opportunity to hold a focus group discussion about public health risks. The discussions should be about two components: hazard and exposure. A pit or septic tank overflowing into a stormwater drain is an example of a public health hazard, where disease-causing contamination gets into the environment. A hazard becomes a risk when people are exposed to the hazard. For example, children jumping into a contaminated drain to retrieve their playthings. Survey data can be presented effectively using the Urban Sanitation Status Index developed by the World Bank. In this example from Lusaka in Zambia, geo-referenced household survey data from the whole city is presented in the form of maps. The data is converted into colour-coded indices for each area, addressing different parts of the sanitation chain, and other related services such as solid waste and drainage. The indices are combined to give an overall picture of the status of sanitation in each area. In Lusaka, the survey data was also combined with a pre-existing groundwater vulnerability map, and this was used to define priority areas for sanitation improvement under a major internationally funded project. Many urban sanitation projects will need to advocate for change. Here are a few pointers to make your advocacy more effective. Your message needs to identify what is wrong and where. Present the messages so that they can be understood by non-technical audiences. Always disaggregate urban and rural data. And for example, don't make a point about urban sanitation by using combined rural and urban data. Aim to identify and address the attitudes and motivations of the target audience. What is on the mayor's mind? What do the planners want to achieve in the next 5 years? Different types of messages are required for different categories of decision maker: political, administrative, or technical. And use high-quality, professional, creative and media expertise. Poorly presented material will not get the reaction that you are seeking. As an example, in Balikpapan in Indonesia, World Bank technical assistance supported the local government's sanitation working group to improve FSM services. The support included undertaking a household sample survey about demand for FSM services, also FSM service provider interviews, and working with the Department of Health to develop the sanitation questions for their routine house-to-house health census. The household survey data was presented to the working group as an SFD. The FSM sample survey data and the Ministry of Health census data were highly compatible, and the SFD was accepted as credible. The main message about the need to improve FSM services was understood by everybody. And because that message was understood well, detailed action planning to improve FSM services started later in the same meeting. Thank you for watching.